Well, good morning, everybody, and I want to thank everybody for coming out today. My name is Smokey Thomas, and I am president of the Ontario Public Service Employees Union. And with me today, I'm pleased to have J.P. Hornick. J.P. is the chair of the College Faculty Bargaining Team, and I have Mona Chevalier, who will be pleased to take any questions in French. Well, you know, it's September, a time when everyone's thoughts turn to education, so here's why we're here today. Right now, Ontario's 24 public colleges are delivering sophisticated, state-of-the-art education to 220,000 full-time and 300,000 part-time students. That's a great accomplishment, but behind the scenes, things aren't going so well. OPSEU represents over 12,000 college faculty who are using the best tool they have, collective bargaining, to try to solve some of the problems they are facing today. And they're here at Queen's Park today because their program of action to address what ails the colleges needs the support of legislators. I just want to make some very general comments before turning the mic over to JP. Ontario's college system turned 50 years old this year. When Bill Davis set it up, he did so because he was worried that without a comprehensive system designed to deliver quality education and training, Ontario workers would not be able to keep up with the pace of technological change. And believe it or not, I was around and watched St. Lawrence College be built. They took over the farm from the psychiatry hospital and built the college, so I've seen the system grow. So as I told MPPs this morning, that was a time when a computer was the size of this room and had less computing power than your smartphone. And I've seen those at Queen's when they had one. So our colleges are absolutely essential to the future prosperity and well-being of not just the students we educate, but the entire province. So today there's not one college in Ontario that is not in a strategic partnership with a university. Many of our colleges are now degree-granting institutions. But despite this sophistication, funding from the province is way down compared to historical levels. In Bill Davis's day, the government of Ontario provided 75% of the funds to run the colleges. Today, that number is less than half. The shortfall has been paid for by students and their families, and it has also been paid for by faculty and staff, although not college presidents, but that's a story for another time. Cheap labor has been a cornerstone of college cost-cutting for decades now. We're here today to say that the era of insecure, underpaid, precarious work must end, not only in our colleges, but in our society as a whole. And we believe that in light of Bill 148 and the government's apparent desire to address precarious work, a lot of MPPs will agree with us. So college faculty have a better plan for Ontario's colleges. So on that note, I'd like to ask JP to tell you more about that plan.
Thanks, Smokey. I'll be brief. College faculty are here today because we're in bargaining against an employer that refuses to see that the old ways of doing things just don't work for our system anymore. This is hurting education quality in our colleges. It's hurting our students. It's violating the rights and hopes of the faculty that are working in this system on contract-to-contract basis. Obviously, there's many issues that are in front of us on the bargaining table, but for this morning, I'm just going to focus on two of them, quality and fairness. College faculty are subject matter experts. We're the ones with the in-depth knowledge of the courses that we teach, whether it's graphic design, aviation, nursing, or mechanical engineering technology. But faculty in every college are growing increasingly frustrated by college management that interferes in educational decisions in a way that runs counter to what we know is best for our students. So, for example, faculty frequently find themselves under pressure to pass students who just aren't ready to pass a given course, who haven't met the learning outcomes and haven't demonstrated the knowledge they need to succeed in their field. Why do administrators do that? Why do they overturn the grades? Why do they lower the standards? Simple. A student that failed is a student who continues to pay tuition. Therefore, stops paying tuition, my apologies. Therefore, they have to pass, otherwise the college loses money. We see this pattern repeated over and over. College administrators consistently look for the cheapest way to deliver an education, not the best, most pedagogically sound way to deliver an education. Both at home and internationally, this is starting to jeopardize Ontario colleges' reputation. All of this is happening because our colleges simply aren't structured to listen to the voices of faculty. In every other post-secondary system in Canada, and even in Sheridan College in our own system, They have a governance model that gives faculty the authority and the academic freedom to deliver programs to students in a way that makes sense in their field. We need an inclusive decision-making structure that involves all stakeholders, faculty, students, and administrators, working together to set the academic vision for the college system. This is not a radical notion. Again, this kind of collegial governance model is the norm at universities, at colleges in other provinces, and at Sheridan College here in Ontario. It has not reduced their effectiveness, nor their nimbleness, nor their ability to actually recruit and retain quality students who receive the education that they've paid for and deserve. And I must add, college faculty are passionate about this issue. It was our members' #1 demand in bargaining this round. We are equally passionate, however, about dealing with the college's cheap labor strategy. Right now, approximately 80% of college education is delivered by insecure, underpaid contract faculty. And this is another place where the province must enter the conversation. As Smokey pointed out, the colleges have adjusted to falling provincial revenues by creating a huge underclass of precarious workers. If any of you know or have been contract faculty, and I'm sure many of you do and have, then you know what it's like. They have no job security beyond their one-term 4-month contracts. Faculty are increasingly over decades applying for their jobs again and again every 4 months. Many of them have no access to benefits, and they get paid much less than the negotiated rate that full-timers get. Some of the contract faculty are in our full-time bargaining unit. These members are called the partial load faculty. Right now they have between 7 to 12 teaching contact hours. According to the College Employer Council, it will cost $123 million a year to implement the equal pay for equal work, as Bill 148 describes, just for this group of faculty alone. It'll cost even more to deliver the same kind of fairness to the thousands of non-union contract faculty who are treated even worse than the partial loads. So that's the situation that we're in right now. In bargaining, we are 10 days away from the current contract expiring. Our members entrusted us with a strike vote. For our part, at the table, we're doing everything we can in our power to get the colleges to come around and come to grips with the issues I've just been talking about. We want to work together to establish a system that brings us into the 21st century and moves us forward for the next 50 years of the college system. But it's also time for our MPPs to step up and support the better plan that faculty have for Ontario's colleges. If they do, then I know that the winners will be not only college faculty, but the students and employers in Ontario. Thank you very much. We'll be pleased to take any questions that you have.
The college has put out a press release today saying that your proposals would eliminate more than 4,000 contract faculty jobs and increase costs by $400 million. Can you talk a little bit about what exactly you are proposing and why you would be proposing something that would eliminate jobs?
The proposal that we have on the table would actually create thousands of full-time jobs in place of the many thousands of contract jobs. So this is about creating stability in the system through faculty's proposals of creating a faculty complement that begins to reverse the trend of full-time to contract faculty ratios. And the cost that they have put forth, we think, is sincerely inflated. We need to get their full costing on some of these numbers yet. But what we're looking for is to bring more workers into stable, secure employment going forward.
Do you expect there will be fewer contract jobs if your proposal is implemented?
Absolutely. The teaching contact hours that would be delivered typically by a part-time person would then be taken over by a full-time person. So this also creates pathways to jobs for the contract faculty. As part of the proposal, we've also included job security for partial load faculty who would remain in those positions. So we've proposed that partial load faculty who right now have to reapply every 4 months be given 1-year contracts. So we believe that the colleges can be more effectively managed to predict their labor needs over the course of an academic year, and that the contracts for academic faculty who are on contract should reflect that consistency.
Are you saying that the jobs that would be lost effectively would be inferior to the jobs that would be gained? The
Absolutely, yes.
Those jobs would have benefits?
I wouldn't characterize it as job losses. I'd characterize it the way JP said it, as a path to full-time employment. They would be creating rather than eliminating. because it'd be the same people with better working conditions and better pay. So the employer's being a bit they're twisting it their way to make it look like, it's going to cost. It's like the $15 an hour wage. 50,000 jobs will be lost. Well, I don't think so. And the same as in the colleges, right? So, and the management of the colleges, the presidents tried to give themselves 40, 50, 60% raises. We caught on to that and exposed that. Well, now that's just on hold till after bargaining. So they've got lots of money for the things. They're like the government. They've got lots of money for the things they want money for. And what we're saying is to the government and the employers, we want money for the front line, for the people that actually do the teaching. And if that costs a bit more, well, what value do you place on public education? What value do you place on the college's role in society? And I would think that management and the government needs to step up to plate and actually contribute the real value.
Absolutely. Right? The college system is in a surplus position right now. We have about $130 million surplus within the system. Only one college has shown a deficit position in the past in their financial reporting data, and even that's minor. It's seen as a blip on the screen. So it's not just a problem of chronic underfunding by the government, it's also the decisions that are being made by management, direct resources outside of the classroom and into new buildings, raises for senior administrators, rather than into frontline needs of students. And that's the faculty, which are not just the professors, the counselors, the librarians, the instructors, the people who are there supporting the students day to day. So an investment in the stability and more stable, good quality jobs on that front line only brings a benefit to students. Right now, with the contract faculty, students are in the position where if you need a reference letter, you need a recommendation, you're trying to track down somebody who in many cases, in the GTA in particular, is teaching at multiple colleges at once, who just doesn't have the same sort of time allotted to be able to provide the support that they want to provide to students. That's not a way to build a quality education system.
I do know personally some people in that position. I have a friend that actually gave up on the college system. Loved teaching, loved it, was really good, helped many, many people in the media get into their careers, and he just said, Smokey, I don't know how you people deal with management all day long. The mismanagement's incredible, and he just quit. He actually said if they would just listen to the people that teach, the place would be so much better. And I did some time on the Board of Governors at St. Lawrence College. It was a problem then. They started getting away from listening to the faculty, listening to the people that do the work, and more on people now that determine course content, what you're going to teach, never been in a classroom, don't have any academic qualifications, they're bureaucrats. And when Mike Harris changed the college system, right, they got to create, now they all create their own little kingdom. And so it's their college, and it'll be their way or the highway. And I guess all we're saying is, if you remember when I was here talking about other bargaining fights that we've been in, equal pay for equal work, the LCBO did it. Well, they're still in business. So we want the college to do that. But more importantly, to listen to the people that actually teach. They actually know what's going on. And I had 2 kids graduated from college. They had a fantastic experience. But I want every young person or senior, mature person that goes back to have that fantastic experience and get a job when they're done. So the people that know how to do that are the people that actually in the classroom teaching. And even just, hey, JP, just how you teach it, right? They try and tell you now that, and if you're a part-time, trying to track people down is, I know people, they tell me the number of hours they put on their own time, getting ready on Sunday night for the courses for the week, talking to students on the weekend on their time off. That's all unpaid work. That's not right. Shouldn't be that way. And they shouldn't put as many hours in doing unpaid work as they do paid work. And I can remember when there were decent paying part-time jobs, right? And now they just keep cutting the wages. So they have solved their deficit problems off the backs of working people. But the government, I hope, will come to the realization that after about 2 decades of austerity, and they claim to have a balanced budget, that it's time to make some serious reinvestments, but listen to the people on the front line. The proposals that JP and her team have on the bargaining table are, as you say, won't bankrupt them, but they just don't appear to want to give up any level of control and allow the people that know how to do the work to do the work.
To address that question a little bit further, the workload proposals that we've put forth would actually balance the workload or make equitable the workload between contract faculty and full-time faculty. one of the key cash incentives for the colleges to hire more contract faculty is that there are no limits on class sizes for contract faculty. There's no limit because they're not governed by the same evaluation time and preparation time that is given to full-time faculty. So the proposals that we put forth would actually limit just how many students you can cram into a single classroom, which is a huge benefit for students, as one can well imagine. If you're in a classroom where you have more one-on-one interaction with your teacher versus a classroom that is, 500 people in a lecture hall, that's a different education experience, and one that I think isn't quite the same quality.
Tell us a little bit about the status of talks. I mean, you're here, that's probably a bad sign. Do you have more meetings scheduled?
Yeah. We have meetings scheduled tomorrow and Friday, and then all next week as well. The contract expires on September 30th. We had invited management, actually, to the colleges to join us here today in talking to MPPs, and we saw this as an item of mutual interest, asked for money to be invested in the system, and they declined to attend. Right now, what's happening at the table I can only describe as stonewalling. They have absolutely shown no interest in addressing any faculty issue. We've reiterated these are the number one demands. These were reinforced. We went into our people to get a strike vote to reinforce the fact that they stood behind the demands they had put together over, the past several months that came out of the 24 colleges, faculties working together, and that didn't move them. An over two-thirds strike vote in our sector is an incredibly strong strike vote mandate. This is also marks the first time a college faculty bargaining team has been given a strike vote mandate while we're still at the table. Our people are standing behind this. This is an aspirational round of bargaining in many respects. This isn't your traditional bread and butter round. We've put forth a clear vision for the colleges that improve things not just for our faculty but for our students. We've tried to correct the course that was set by management and that has set us off of the road of the original vision of the colleges. We're trying to bring that back to the fore. There is not a single person on this team that, was lucky enough to get a full-time job at the colleges who did so in order to become a union activist. We did so because we're educators. We want to be in the classrooms. Our counselors want to be working with their students. Our librarians want to be moving those libraries right ahead into a kind of modern version of what's appropriate in post-secondary and helping our students to navigate those processes. We don't want to be on a picket line. We want to be working together with management in order to determine the best way to do academics within a post-secondary setting at the community college level, period.
Est-ce que je comprends, le meilleur plan, c'est aussi quelque chose que vous allez amener à la table de négociation? Qu'est-ce que vous espérez obtenir concrètement là, en essayant d'aller chercher l'appui des députés aujourd'hui?
Bien, comme JP l'a mentionné, à date, nous avons apporté ce meilleur plan-là à la table des négociations. Et rien n'est pour discussion du point de vue de l'employeur. Donc, ce qu'on souhaite obtenir, c'est un appui puisque nos demandes affectent la qualité d'éducation et adressent également toute la précarité d'emploi dans le système qui amène un système finalement à avoir beaucoup d'instabilité et qui affecte la qualité. Donc, avec le projet de loi, par exemple, 148, que le gouvernement aimerait passer, une de nos demandes est tout à fait en lien avec ce projet-là, d'avoir un salaire égal pour travail égal, et l'employeur ne veut rien savoir. Donc, ce qu'on se dit, c'est qu'en fait, c'est une affaire gouvernementale, tout ce projet de loi-là, et les collèges sont aussi des collèges de la province. Alors, on croit qu'il est important pour le gouvernement de s'en mêler et de voir aussi à ce que toutes les personnes qui aspirent à une éducation de qualité puissent l'obtenir à travers notre système collégial.
Vous êtes dans une position plus précaire en raison de projet de loi, entre autres.
La précarité existe déjà, c'est-à-dire que 80% au moins de l'enseignement qui se fait dans les collèges se fait sur le dos de personnes qui sont dans des contrats qui ne durent pas plus que 3-4 mois et qui doivent réappliquer pour leur poste. Alors, c'est certain que ces personnes-là, présentement, ne sont pas payées à salaire égal, travail égal, comme le veut le projet de loi. Mais ce qu'on veut aussi, c'est qu'il y ait moins de cette précarité-là, qu'il y ait davantage de postes à temps plein pour amener une stabilité dans les collèges. Parce qu'à moins de 20 de stabilité au niveau du temps plein, c'est pas suffisant pour pouvoir développer et livrer des programmes de qualité.
Et quelles sont les prochaines étapes, compte tenu que vous avez obtenu un mandat de grève? Pensez-vous rester encore longtemps à la table des négociations?
Les prochaines étapes, c'est d'être encore à la table de négociation. Nous rencontrons l'employeur encore jeudi et jeudi cette semaine. Alors, nous souhaitons qu'il va commencer à y avoir une ouverture de leur part à négocier les enjeux qui sont importants pour nous. Alors, c'est ça les prochaines étapes. On souhaite vraiment pouvoir avoir une ouverture de leur part. Présentement, il n'y en a pas eu. C'est une fermeture d'esprit. Il n'y a aucun changement qui est souhaité de leur part. Ils veulent maintenir le contrôle. Ils ne veulent pas laisser aller toute prise de décision, mais c'est pas une question de la laisser aller, mais de partager cette prise de décision-là avec le personnel scolaire. Et ils ne veulent pas non plus contempler, amener davantage d'emplois à temps plein. En fait, au contraire, ils aimeraient réduire davantage le temps plein en nous empêchant de demander que des gens qui sont à contrat pendant des années soient convertis en personnel temps plein.
Allez-vous être disponible pour des entrevues individuelles par la suite?
Oui, tout à fait.
Bon, je ne prendrai pas trop de temps
C'est bon.
avec mes questions.
Merci.
Merci.
Any other questions? Well, I'd just like to actually thank Peggy Sattler for sponsoring us here today. Thanks, for sister. And I'd like to thank you all for coming out. As in all rounds of bargaining, you know, it gets a little hotter, a little more contested, if you will, in the lead up to the 11th hour. But I'd like to reiterate again to the people of Ontario, our team, JP said it very well, they want to bargain a contract, not a strike. So I would say the ball's in the employer's court to show a bit of flexibility, give up a little bit of that control that they don't necessarily need, and I don't think is a good thing for them to have, and give up the reins a little bit and turn it over to the people who actually know what they're doing. And thank you very much for coming out.